Guys, we're ready to start the meeting whenever you guys are.
All right.
I'm ready.
Hey, Tiffany, how come I'm just
Yeah.
I'm only getting 2 people on my screen? How do I get it for everybody?
I'm only getting two.
Only 2 people have their video on.
Okay, got you.
They're the only ones with video on.
Okay, so
My
Michelle,
webcam's still down, so that's why I'm not on.
Michelle must be on the phone, and
She's on the phone.
I'm on the phone, Rocky.
okay, and there's James. Okay,
I'm here, just that my video's not working. Did you hear me?
yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we will, since there's no president, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 5:31 p.m.
Okay.
We have a quorum of the board with all board members present, all 5. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the, I guess it would have been the budget meeting? I think that's what I included in the board packet.
Yes.
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 Okay, did
Yes.
anyone have any questions about those?
No,
I
I don't.
don't.
Can I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
I second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and then Rocky, would you like to do the financials?
Yeah, I thought we were doing the officers first. But we're doing that. Okay, let me get. Hang on, Tiffany. What did I do with it? Bear with me. There it is. No, hang on. I've lost it. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to need to share it. I hit that little arrow in the box.
Yeah, hold on, let me. I gotta figure out how to do it. Hold on, I'm looking at a new screen. Hold on just 1 second.
Why I'm not?
They updated the system, so it looks weird to me. So I'm trying to learn the new one. Here we go. No, that's not it.
While she's doing that, I'll just share with you that I'm going to go down through this. I sent everybody the form, but my copy that I'm fixing to put on the screen has a few other little edits on it and notes. And once I go through it, if there's any question at the end, you can answer me, but hopefully I'll cover everything for you.
Okay, you should be able to share now.
Okay. Can people see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
You see the blue column here. I'll be mainly going down through that. That's for is for September, and this sheet you'll notice does not look anything like the financial form that they send us from Century, because those forms are very, very vague, and I go into it in a little more detail, and I do some editing for just accounting purposes, just to give you a clearer picture of where some of the payments went and why. So that's the reason they're different, but they do pretty much agree with the financial statement that you get, but this is just more detail. This first line here is the quarterly assessments, 3406.67, which is typical across each month. It's split out over the 12-month period. They divide the months of assessments collected for the year, and that's how they spread it out per month. The special assessments repairs, that is listed as an income, but I back that out because that's really not income to us. That's money that actually is going to belong to the bank, CIT, for payments. So I take it out. Late charges is charges that are applied to people who obviously pay late, and that's the fines. And that right there is showing a credit for this month. Usually there's a debit, but it's a credit this month. Sometimes the numbers don't catch up, and they'll charge them 1 month, and another month or two they'll credit back to some of the accounts. Closing fees, you'll see there's no closings, but there is actually one closing, and that is house number 3457 closed. That closing amount will show up in October's figures, but it is showing on some of the reports, and they didn't necessarily cross over to this form. So that's why you'll see sometimes where I do adjustments. In another form, this is listed, but on this particular form, it's not, because the departments didn't cross over and get caught up in time. Line 11 there is violations. There was no violations. This number, line 12, is interest on reserves. You can see we don't make hardly anything on that money that sits there, but at least we get something. Then you'll notice right below it here, they take it right back out. That's for accounting purposes. This line here, let me cancel that. This line here is interest charge to SA Repairs. That's they put it in as a income, and then they pull it back out later because it's not income to us. Really, it's interest that's charged to us, not income. You'll notice here on line 19, I've got a memo that says after adjustment. You'll see line 17. You'll see that that's what they are saying our income was. I've adjusted it out to it's $36.23.96, not $43, because I pulled out the $732. Then we go down to maintenance expenses. The building maintenance is just the category. Grounds maintenance, we really don't have anything that goes there. General maintenance is maintenance that an expense shows up that we really don't have a category for, so that's a generic category. That particular general maintenance was for the rental chairs and tables for the annual meeting last month. This 3,200 is contracted lawn service. I did adjust it out down the form, but I took 1,600 out because they paid double, but on the reports, it's only showing listed as once in the payable category. So it's just an accounting thing that didn't get adjusted out, and it will. Weed control, that's what we pay for the front gate and the back gate. I mean, Sauls Gate and Madeline Gate per month for control of weeds and fertilization of the grass. And then you see there was nothing else spent. And they say we had a total expenses of $3,488 when actually we only had $1,888 because I pulled back the $1,600 double bill from line 28. Utilities are $198.90. That we have 4 meters and 4 different bills. Sometimes we'll have 4 charges. Sometimes we'll have 5. Sometimes there'll only be 3. It depends on when the bills are sent in, and that will fluctuate from month to month. Management fee here is the $900 a month that we pay. That is the payment for the Century Management Company to manage us, but there are other fees that come into play that I'll talk about, and that's the fee that we're paying per house, per homeowner for managing the special assessment money. And I talk about that later. This line is postage, $133 for postage. That expense, you see here on the budget for the month, we budget only $41, but this is high because of the annual meeting and mailings and copies and stuff that came out there, which is right below it, the copies. You see it cost us much more money than $85 to send out all the letters, the envelopes, the copies that go to the annual membership for the meetings. Insurance is $95 a month. So we had a total of $1,395 expenses there. You see here, the special assessment repairs are put in again down here as a repair and expense, and I've pulled it out down here. So when you get down to the bottom, your financial report shows a different loss or gain. This happens to be a loss of $2,186, but after I adjusted out some of the errors, we only lost $586. And keep in mind that we're nonprofits, so the best scenario is zero at the end of the year. No profit and no loss. So year to date, we're running well if you look over here in this section. So, and we still have 2 months. The next section is the checking account. We moved from Union Bank to Pacific Western Bank, and the primary account is right here. This, remember, keep in mind, this is September. They said we have $10,845. I checked the bank today, and I always like to tell what the current balance is. Today at 2 o'clock, it was $40,018.17. But since we changed banks, this amount right here, which is the special assessments account, is also included in the balance of the primary account. They haven't separated it out yet. So that $40,000 account balance includes some of the special assessment money, which as of October was $26,886. The reserve account is $12,157 for a total of $49,890. Well, this afternoon at 2, our balance was showing $52,176. So you can see that these numbers are fluid because I'm doing September's report and we're in November. Right here is the amount of money that is owed to the CIT Bank, which is the special assessment money that we're paying the money back with our loan. We owe them as of October $49,158. This here is a snapshot of our arrearage. I'll flip over to the sorted accounts payable just to give you an idea of where I got these numbers, and then I'll come back. This is the sheet that comes out every month on every homeowner's home on their account total for their assessments, whether they're current or behind, and for the quarter, how much they're past due, if any. That's this line. And this is the special assessment current balances. These negatives you see here, they're actually a plus balance. If they don't have a negative, they're in arrearage. Show you example right here. This is one right here. You see this $3,333. That's actually an arrearage. If you go down here and you see a minus, that is a plus balance. It's opposite on this. So I just took these numbers and I brought over because it's easier to recognize or to see. The total arrearage is $7,630. That is, the bulk of that is 4 people, 4 homes. Of those 4 homes, 2 are 3/4 of this amount. One of those we're going to talk about later in the meeting is $3,482. And if we decide in a positive manner to go with the opinion of the attorney, that will represent $3,482 that will come off this $7,600. So half are arrearages is one person here that we're in negotiation with to get collected. 2 people are $100 to $299 in arrearage. 5 people are from $50 to $99, and that's $338. And then from $0 to $49, there's 8 people. Now, when you look at the assorted payables account, it's very confusing because you'll see that it shows a much larger arrearage. Here it is. But these numbers here are pluses and minuses, so they're not any good. You have to pull out the pluses and then figure out what they are. So I'm just going over this. I won't have to do this every month. This is the only time I'll do it, just so you have an idea of where I get these numbers from. So I think that's it on that. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll turn it back over to you, Tiffany. You there, Tiffany?
I'm here. I was just sending an email over to banking to see if those funds are going to be separated. So I was just taking care of that really quick.
Yeah, it's just the checking account that's not doing it yet, but I think your accounting does do it.
Okay.
The numbers I gave you were off the new checking, but I think your auditor does back them out.
Okay.
So
I just wanted to make sure it gets done, so I'm just sending them an email.
Yeah, I know they do, as a matter of fact. So I'm trying to get my video back up. Oh, there it is. Okay, I hit this X, right?
Yep.
Okay, there. Thank you.
Okay, so we will move on to the manager's report. That was also included in your board packet. So there wasn't much going on in October just because we didn't really have, the board organized. We held the budget annual meeting on October 1st. The minutes were completed for the annual and budget. I prepared the lien waiver and met with D2 Paving to release their check. Violations were sent and financial summary was completed. Site visit was done on October 13th. Followed up on violations and sent new ones. For arrears and collections, there are 2 accounts at the attorney. The collection policy on file is being followed. There was 1 closing in October, and that was 3457 Country Walk. And that's all I have for October for the board, the manager's report. So we can move on to the ARBs. Has everyone had a chance to review those?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about any of them?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The one for the landscaping, it was so light on the sheet, I couldn't read it and really make out any detail.
Right. I was trying to help her with that. It was a little difficult for me to do also. So what she wants to do is right now she just has like a rock bed in front of her house. And she just wants to remove the rocks from it and fill it in with concrete because of the weeds, and she's elderly and cannot put the weeds, keep picking the weeds. So she just wants to get rid of the plant bed or it's not a plant, she doesn't have plants in it, she just has rock in it right in front of her house and replace it with concrete.
Can I make a comment there?
Sure.
I went by and looked at that location because I agree with Michelle. It was hard to understand. Just to give you guys an idea, if you were standing at her front door looking out at the street, you walk out the front door and she's got a little porch sidewalk area. Well, to her right is a little flower bed. And she's had a lot of trouble with weeds, so what she's trying to do is just fill that in with concrete, which would make it kind of a wide porch. But but it's inside the house area. It's not outside in the yard. So it's just a flower bed that you walk by when you go into her house, and she's just filling it in. It's not obtrusive. It won't be in the way. It won't even be noticed. So that's what I looked at when I went by.
I don't have a problem with that being that close to the home.
I don't have a problem with it either.
Let's see it.
Were there questions about any other ARBs?
No.
I do have some comments on two of the others also.
Okay.
Just
So do you want to go through them one by one?
Well, I can. If have we approved the patio?
Okay, so let's do that. So 34, what is it? 3432 Spring Oak Lane.
Yeah,
Do we have a motion to approve?
I motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So the 3463 Country Walk. Linda, you'll have to sit this one out.
Okay.
To replace the front door and install a storm door. Any questions on that one?
I'm totally against it. I think it's horrible.
So do we have a motion to approve?
I
I make
motion.
a motion.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do Michelle, Rocky, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, Tiffany, the two tree removals,
Uh-huh.
both of these, the 3482, Miss Denise came to the house, and in one of those windstorms a few weeks ago, the tree broke in half about 25 feet up in the air, and it came across her backyard and lodged in some woods in her backyard in a common area, which is not our common area. And she got the city out there and the arborist, the city arborist, and he gave her, and I sent it to you guys. It's the, to you, Tiffany. He did a statement saying it's extremely dangerous. He told her, do not go in the backyard. Don't let your dogs in the backyard. Don't let anybody back there, because that thing could fall at any time and needed to be moved immediately. And in that case, the city waived the permits and everything. And actually, I found out again, I think we already knew, but if the city arborist says a tree needs to come down, you do not have to have a city permit.
Right.
So so I told her, do what they said to do, go ahead and take it out, but submit the ARB so that it would get in the record that she followed what she was supposed to do. So that's what she's done on that. The tree's gone. I think it's gone. I haven't talked to her, but I'm assuming it's gone already. And I just wanted this to go in the record that she did at least. So I guess we'd need to approve it. We would have had to approve it anyway.
Right.
So that's the story on this particular property.
Okay.
Does that need to be stumped, Rocky? Is that the area has to be stumped?
Well, it's yes. She said that they got this was going to cost her like, let me add a little to that story. This was going to cost her like $20,000, and she found out the person who owned that common area, and she went to their home, which is on the other side of Pepper Ridge, and talked to the person that owns the property, and they told her just leave that top of the tree out there because it's woods, that she didn't have to remove it. So that saved her about $12,000. So yes, she's supposed to get the stump done also, but it is in the backyard. And I haven't gone over there and knocked on the door and asked, but she knows she's supposed to do it. So I can't say she has.
Well, can we just put that on the ARB
Yeah.
for it to be stumped?
Okay.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve with the stipulation that the stump is ground?
I make a motion to approve the ARB with a stump removal.
Okay, second.
Second.
Who is that? Jim?
Yes.
Okay. And all in favor?
Aye. The other one was 3497. This one, she was getting the tree limbs trimmed. And it is an oak. And when they started trimming the limbs, they discovered a lot of hollow and disease places in the tree. So she called the city arborist. The arborist came out and told her it was diseased, and there was also, I believe, a report and some pictures that she got for that. And because of that, they waived the permit also, and she went ahead and had the tree done because the arborist told her that it could fall. So she went ahead and had that done. The stump has not been removed, but she knows it is to be removed and is supposedly has a schedule for it to be removed, but it's
Well,
not.
it says on the ARB, it stumped the tree to be ground.
Yeah, but she hasn't yet, so.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve that one?
I motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, so moving into the unfinished business. Now we'll go ahead and do the organization of the board. Do we have any, does anyone want to nominate any specific person for a position? Obviously, we have the president.
I'm going to nominate Linda Annabelle for president.
Linda, do you accept that nomination?
I'll accept.
Do we have a second for that?
Nominate Jim for president.
Okay. Jim, would you accept that nomination? Jim, you're muted if you didn't know.
Sorry, did you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Would you accept that nomination?
Yes, did you hear me?
Okay, we hear you now.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I'm not sure where to go from here. I guess we would need to take a vote as to who wants, as to who should be president. Rocky, who would you vote for? Here would kind of be like the deciding factor there, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. We have.
I don't know if I'm the deciding factor. That's.
You're the kingmaker, Rocky.
Yeah. We're talking about president. I guess I would vote for Linda.
Okay. Michelle, you are voting for Jim?
Yes, ma'am.
Barbara, you're voting. Who would you vote for?
Linda.
Yeah.
And then you guys can't vote for yourself, so I guess Linda will be president.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Linda.
I thought you could
Okay.
vote for yourself. You can't vote for yourself?
Well, I mean, if you vote for yourself, we already know who you're going to vote for, so
Okay.
it wouldn't really break the tie up. Let's see.
We got
Just a second to get this all written down. Okay, so the next position we have is secretary. Would anyone like to make a nomination for secretary?
I would like to nominate Barbara Weldon for secretary.
Would anyone like to second that?
I'll second it.
Is everyone in favor of that?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The next one we have is treasurer.
I'll nominate Rocky for that.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Well, we
Aye.
should ask Rocky, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I will accept.
Okay. All right, so then that will put Michelle and Jim as directors. Okay. Linda, do you want to take over, or do you want me to continue doing as I'm doing for this meeting?
You can continue for the meeting.
Okay. So our next item on the agenda is a payment plan for account number 030131, and that was sent to us by the attorney. So I do want to say I think we should still vote on this tonight, but it may not matter because I did get another thing from, actually I got it today, I need to forward it to you guys, from the attorney sent to my collections department showing that that account is actually going up for auction due to back paid, no taxes paid. So I think we should go ahead and make this vote just in case it's needed, but it may not matter anyways.
Can I have a question?
Of course.
If somebody buys it for non-payment of taxes, do they still accept what is owed in
It
arrears?
depends on the situation. So we may get a portion of it. If the bank buys it, they usually get like a break on it where they have to pay, I think it's like 30% or something like that. And we may get the full payment, but we won't know until it sells and the judge makes that decision.
All right, second question. Just throwing this out there. No one's ever talked about it. Is it possible for the HOA to take it over for taxes and then us sell the home?
It is, but the HOA would have to be prepared to buy that, and I'm not sure if financially the HOA is in that position.
Okay, I didn't know if that had ever been done.
I mean, it is, and that's why they send us that notice, because we could go to the auction and potentially buy it, but you know.
So it's an auction. You actually bid on it then?
Yep.
Rocky, are you finished?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tiffany, I notice here it says dismissal of lien. If we removed our lien, I think that's a dangerous thing to do if it's going in foreclosure.
No, we have not removed the lien.
Well, if you look at the bill, it says dismissal of the lien foreclosure. Look at where
That's
it says,
once it's.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
Are you looking at in the board packet that I sent you?
Yes, I'm looking at the listing of the fees, and where it says attorney's fees
Right.
and costs, $3,800, including dismissing the lien foreclosure case. Does that mean is the cost is anticipating the dismissal, or has the
Yes.
lien been dismissed? Because if it's been dismissed, we have a problem if this goes into
The
foreclosure.
lien has
Okay.
not been dismissed.
Okay.
They have included the price of dismissing it in their attorney's
Okay.
fees.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
So Tiffany, what is the normal, if there's such a thing, portion that we would get back from the attorneys or the sale of the house?
I believe it's 30%. It's called good. I can't think of it right now. But I believe it's 30% that the HOA would get if it's sold in a foreclosure or auction.
So we would get 30%, but we wouldn't get 30% of what is here because there's attorney fees in here, correct?
So the payment plan includes all of our assessments, back assessments, and the attorney's fees. So we would get all of the back assessments there.
Okay, so it says, like Jim said, the 3,850 cents.
Uh-huh.
That's the attorney fees and the court costs for dismissing the lien. So we would get
Right.
7,000 minus, or the 7,000 minus 3,000. We get 30% of that.
Correct. No, we would get the full amount of that if the homeowner does not go through the auction. So if we get, if he pays off his taxes and
No, I'm
does
saying
his
for the
payment
auction.
plan. Okay,
No, I'm
then
saying
yeah,
for-
we would probably only get 30%. If we get the full thing, I would be surprised.
Well, I'll just say that if you take this letter and back off the fees and all that, we were in line to get about $3,300, a little over $3,300. And
get
so
30.
that means we're going to get only 30% of $300. I mean, $3,300. And it also means we're going to lose the $800 we paid to the attorney, right? To get all this done.
I'm not sure how that would work.
Well, we were going to get back the 800. That was included in the 3,300. Our share would have been almost $3,400. And so you're saying that if this goes through, we're only going to get 30% of that. If
That's
we're
what
lucky.
it says.
Of his back dues, yes.
Wow.
Tiffany?
And, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Then when the house
Tiffany,
closes, we'll get the 210 for the closing fee. So we'll add that on it. Correct?
Tiffany, I have a question.
Yes.
If for some chance the man catches up on his taxes and we agree, just say we were to agree to take this payment plan, what would happen if he would not keep up with his payments? Does the house automatically go back into a foreclosing state?
Yes. Yep. And the attorney would keep track of all of that.
Okay.
I think we're crazy. I don't know. If he's not paying his taxes, he's not paying us. I don't see a payment plan. I think it's just extending his living in that house for free.
Yep.
Well, has anybody done a quick calculation of 30% of $3,400?
22 something. I just did the calculation of it.
And when you back out what we paid the lawyer, 800.
Well, I did.
Plus-
I took the 7. Where is it?
Sure,
I
well,
just had,
if this
hold
goes
on,
through, it's a waste of a whole lot of money.
I gotta
Well-
go back and get that sheet.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead,
think
Jim.
I think we have to keep in mind here is that there's two things that can happen. The first thing is he will lose the house for non-payment of taxes, at which point the state or whomever, the county, whoever is responsible for collecting the taxes will move against it, and then we'll sell the house. At that point, being a lien holder, after the taxes are paid off, we would be in line to collect whatever is left over, if any, to pay off whatever is owed to us. And then, of course, if there is anything left over, it would go to the actual homeowner. Yeah, but that's the thing I think we should consider is signing the agreement, because if he does catch up on his taxes, we're back to where we are now. So I think it's sort of insurance for us to go along with the agreement in the event that he does catch up on his taxes. If he doesn't, then we are a secure lien holder, according to Tiffany, and we'll, depending on the price that they sell the house at foreclosure for, we will get whatever we get. So I don't think there's any disadvantage in taking the agreement, because it does keeps us protected in case the person for some reason catches up on his taxes. That's my opinion.
I agree with you.
I
If we
agree.
don't sign it, we're not losing out anything, right? James, is that what you're saying?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
James, you're saying if we don't sign it, we could actually potentially lose the money.
Well, what I'm saying is, if he catches up on his taxes, now we're back to where we were before we're back to the fact that he owes us this money. The taxes have nothing to do with us. So if he catches up on his taxes, we're back to where we were. So we might as well have this agreement.
I believe he doesn't even really have to catch up on his taxes. There's only a percentage that he has to pay, and it's just from real estate school. There's a percentage he has to pay, and I can't remember that percentage. it's a real low amount, and they know to pay that little percentage every so many years, and it keeps them in their house.
Yes, it keeps
So-
them in, yes, but the two things, are not together.
Yeah.
You
I
can
understand.
foreclose on a tax on a premises, even though a person is current on their taxes.
No, I understand that. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is he could conceivably catch up on that little bit that he has to pay to stay in the house. You know what I'm saying?
With the government.
There's a small percentage he has to pay
Right.
to stay in his house for the
Right.
state taxes or
Right.
county taxes.
But this
That's
agreement
such-
would protect us, so
Yes.
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
All
he
right.
doesn't have to pay.
I think we're on the same page with this, yeah.
Yeah.
I, can I make a comment? I agree with what y'all are saying, and I think, if I remember correctly, the tax assessor's office will allow you to strike a deal with them to catch up on the back taxes, which means that he's wanting to make a deal with us for outrageous payment plus $592 a month for 12 months. Plus, he'll have to make a agreement with the tax assessor to pay a certain percentage of his taxes in arrearage each month. I don't know what that could be, but certainly be over 600. And so I still think we should sign the agreement, but I think we should go in this with our eyes open that there's several directions this person could take, including nothing and somebody else take the house. But
Well,
we don't have a
could-
choice. We need to agree with this.
Tiffany, if we sign it and like Michelle said, he misses a payment, it goes in foreclosure. How does that work? Is that one payment he misses? Does he get a grace period on that? How is that stipulated in the agreement?
Well, that would be a decision that you guys would need to make. You know, how many payments can he be behind on or something before we go back into that.
He can't
That's-
pay
that's
behind on anything. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Tiffany, is the lawyer still suggesting that we sign this agreement, or is he saying wait?
I mean, there's no harm in signing it. The attorney is definitely advising to sign it because then it gives us a ground to stand. I mean, we obviously already have a ground to stand on, but it gives us, look, we're trying to help you. Now you need to pay us if he does get to keep his house.
I think we should go forward with the agreement.
Well, I would say we go forward with the agreement, but if he's more than 30 days past due on one of those, or 15 days, or whatever date you want to choose, then it's an immediate payment due.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, we should keep them on a short leash, Linda, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So does someone want to make a motion to approve that?
What's the best for the time? What would we say for the date? The 15 days or 30 days, or how would we stipulate that?
I would say 30 days.
30 days, okay.
I agree because he's had years, if
Right.
not, so we don't want to give him another year.
Then
Right.
I make a motion that we sign the agreement with the lawyer and the payment plan with the stipulation that if he is 30 days past due, total amount is due.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a second?
I'll
I
second it.
second it.
All in?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Okay. Michelle, did you want to give an update on the D2 paving?
Sure. The paving has been complete. They had to come back and do some minor repairs. There were some things that were not quite right, but they have come back since and done that. We did have a couple of concerns about some areas since since that had to be done. So what they've done is they've given us a year's warranty from the date of when they originally started. If we should have any issues, they'll warranty the street for one additional year, which they don't usually give to anyone.
Okay. So they have been paid, and everything is settled there.
Yeah, the check has cleared in October. It's not showing on September, but it has cleared the bank.
Anyone have any questions about that? Okay. So the next is the tree bids. This was actually approved by the previous board, but I believe Michelle just wanted to see if the new board members had any thoughts on them. Is that correct, Michelle?
Yes, because the previous president, we took a vote on this and this was agreed to. So I don't know how long those bids are good for. If we wanted to inquire about that to go forward, what exactly we needed to do. But like I said, it was previously signed because it was voted upon. So I wasn't sure where we wanted to go forward with that one, at this point.
So did we want to try to do the tree work this year, or do we still want to hold off until the first of the year?
I guess my point is that we need to make sure that the bid is still going to be good for that price and for how long.
Right.
Because I know that they were, because of the 2 trees being done at one time, they gave us I believe it's about a $300 savings or something in that nature.
Right.
May I make a comment?
Yeah.
I was shuffling some papers here, and I don't know if you said it or not, Michelle, but a question that I had is, it seems like I recall a couple times before somebody suggesting that we did not get 3 estimates. Did we get 3 estimates?
We did, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then my only other comment would be, I'm not one for kicking the can down the road. If you guys want to wait a month or 2, that's fine. And of course, check the price, but it's only going to get higher. And the arborist, if I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, but I thought they said it could go tomorrow or it could go in 8-9 months, but it's going to go
Yes.
if we don't take action. So
Yes, he said it had to come down within a year at most.
yeah, that it's every month is more danger. So
Yes.
I'm for taking it down, but whatever you guys want to do.
Like I said, my suggestion would be is to, get the bids, a copy of them, and the one that we signed the agreement with, that Pam previously signed, is that we find out how long that bid is good for. And at least maybe finish, I don't know if we should wait for hurricane season to end or if we would want to go forward. But my suggestion would be, like I said, to see how long the bid is actually good for that price. It may not be good at all. We wouldn't know. We're assuming.
Right. And okay, so I'll reach out to them and find out how long they're good for. And then if we want to bring this up at the December meeting to make the final decision.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll do that. I'll reach out to them and get that information. And then I believe we have an update on the common area, the concrete repair. Michelle, do we have an update on that?
What has happened is with the paving situation, when I was over there doing a walkthrough, that situation has gotten much worse. There's actually a common area. There's the sidewalk that leads to the park, but there's also a common area which adjoins to someone's driveway. That area has become much worse. And I know that we did get 3 bids, but one of them was verbal and 2 of them were in writing. So we would need to get a 3rd bid in writing before we could go forward with this. But I feel it should be done very soon because also the lady that it adjoins that property to is not well. And I could see that becoming a hazard for possibly emergency people to get to her.
Okay, does anyone else have thoughts on that?
Well, that's another
Yes,
one.
I can hear you.
I'm sorry. Somebody else talking? My
No,
comment is that another one that we have gotten 3 estimates on?
I believe we only have 2 on that so far. Correct, Michelle?
Yes, there are only 2 in writing, and one was a verbal.
Michelle, is that the area by the park?
Yes, that is the area by the park.
Yes, yes.
All right. Yeah, that is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. I've seen that when I go down there. It looks like it's a bombed out area in Europe after World War II. I mean, really, the concrete blocks are just,
Yeah.
It is a hazard. That is a hazard.
I guess my comment would be, aren't we bound by regulation, whatever, covenants, whatever you call it, to get 3 estimates written?
Yes, that's why I said we need. That's why I said we need to get a third one.
Yeah.
But like I said, if anyone has the opportunity, I can't remember the exact address off the top of my head, but I would highly suggest that everyone goes and gets familiar with this area because it really is getting very, very bad.
Michelle, where is the area? Is it over there by where Miss Miracle's house was? Is that the area?
Yes, it's on the opposite side.
Near Lynn's house?
It's going towards Lynn's house. Cookie, Jerry, I'm trying to think of her, Jerry Grafton.
Okay.
She's also known as Cookie. She is the one immediately on the other side of the park. And it's the common area that adjoins to her driveway.
Okay, I know where it is. Okay.
Yeah, so it's on Fox Hunt Court. And Tiffany, I don't know if you could provide like the address for them so they could go by and get familiar with it. I'm not sure of the lot number.
I'm pretty sure I know where it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go there.
If you
Well,
look,
the cul-de-sac there, right?
yeah, it's a cul-de-sac. If you look at the lake, there's a path that leads to the lake. It's the property to the left, directly to the left of that path, as you're facing the lake.
Yeah, the concrete is so loose now, if you stand on it, you can actually move the concrete with your body weight.
It used to be loose on the other side too. Is the other side okay now? Remember, it used to be awful to walk on the other side too.
There's a little place on the sidewalk that it could become an issue, which we've had a little bit of damage from previous work, but nothing in comparison to this particular area.
The damage, is that coming from tree roots?
Yes.
So what are we going to do to prevent those roots from coming and doing more damage that we have to repair?
I think what the previous people did that gave us the estimate is they let us know that, when they got in there, they could assess it a little bit further. But I believe if I remember correctly, and please forgive me if I don't, I believe one had said we may have to have some tree roots, and the other one was like a special procedure that they do to put something in with the concrete that would be a little more giving. So my understanding, it's concrete work, but it's 2 different procedures.
Okay,
so we would need to get copies of those.
Yeah, we need to figure out which one is the better one to do. So in another 30 years, we're not sitting in the same situation.
Well, what my suggestion possibly is for like a third estimate is to maybe even check into pavers for that little section, because pavers would be more forgiving. And I was going to suggest that to everyone as food for thought in an estimate form, and maybe that might be beneficial to us too.
Whatever works.
I would
It's just.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that was just my food for thought, because like I said, I mean, I know you grout it in and you do the different steps, but it would be more forgiving and more flexible, I believe, than a solid piece of concrete.
Is it our decision to make on if it's concrete or if it's pavers, or is it the homeowner's decision?
It would be ours. We own the property, I believe. I mean, I know we own the property, so I believe it's our decision.
So we would only have to do that one part of the driveway. We don't have to do the whole driveway. They're not going to demand the whole driveway in the pavers, correct?
No. The only thing that she's ever requested when this was brought to our attention quite some time ago was that it was repaired. She was afraid of tripping on it way back then, and it's been quite some time, and it has just gotten much worse since, and so is her health. It's at some point it's going to be difficult for a car to get through there.
I would just like to make a comment that this is something that's been going on now for, I know, over a year. And we need to take action on this before it's too late. We need to get on the ball, make some decisions, do it the way it's supposed to be done, and then make a decision to go ahead and do it. It's really not something we should kick the can on.
What happened? I mean, is it, because I'm not quite sure with the concrete, and I mean, I'm from up north where concrete's king, and but So you're saying, Michelle, because I haven't had experience with this, that, so if the root starts pushing up the pavers, we just dig them out and put them back down, correct?
That would be my understanding for a repair. It would give us more leeway instead of breaking up solid pieces of concrete, where probably even the same pavers could be used, and then it just, you know, be regrouted back down in, is the way that I'm understanding it.
Well, maybe, I mean, so we're gonna need a couple of estimates for paver repair, the pavers to put in. And we already have two estimates for the concrete, correct?
Yes, we've not gotten an estimate for pavers, so I think it's just my suggestion. We could see if that would work, but yes, I would say we would need to get a couple that way just to be safe, so we could have two people to compare it to.
Would that be okay, Rocky, for the amount of estimates that we need, or do we need to get 3 for concrete and 3 for pavers?
I believe our rules stipulate that you are supposed to get 3 estimates on any work approved by the board. Now, I don't know if there's a rider that, like, you can't get 3, or you've tried and just can't get anybody. Tiffany could answer that, but I know that we are supposed to get 3 estimates.
Right,
Yeah,
so would that matter?
Should have 3.
But would it matter on if it's different types of work, or is it just 3 estimates in total?
They really should be apples to apples, so we can compare who, you know, is really the best price.
Okay, but I would suggest even too, I mean, because more estimates aren't going to hurt anything, then we need to acquire the 3rd for concrete. And I would say if someone has the time to check into the pavers just to see if that thought would work, I don't see what it would hurt.
I don't either. My first thought logically is, you got to remember that I don't know how old that cul-de-sac is. I'm thinking it's 1980s like the rest of them. I don't know if that's a newer section, but if that's the case, it's taken 35 years to do what it's done. I don't know that pavers would hold up like concrete does. And I do know that that particular concrete, because you can see it, is real thick. So yeah, the trees have done the damage, and cutting back the roots would probably solve that issue, but I don't know. I'm not the
I really believe, though, that the estimates we have weren't including cutting roots.
Well, they're going to have.
We would need to.
Where are those estimates?
I believe Tiffany has a copy, but I know that Pam had a copy as well, and she was just waiting for someone to be able to pass the information along to.
Yeah, I never received the copies of those.
Because I remember we reviewed them at a meeting at some point. So at one point, all of us got them. But where mine is, it would be within an email, and I couldn't lay my fingers on it immediately. But as soon as, like I said, we had someone to turn over the information to, which is my understanding that all board members that have anything that belongs to the association are supposed to pass it on to the next person for that position. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So yes, I'm sure she would provide them for us.
Okay. So let's do this. We'll get the copies of those proposals, get them over to all the board members, and then if one of the board members or 2 of the board members want to form, you know, kind of like a subcommittee there, and let's get this project dealt with and get what we need to do so we can get it done.
Okay.
That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
Does that close out this topic? Because I wanted to ask a question on the previous topic.
For the tree bids?
Sorry, one before that. Did we ever vote on the attorney deal? Are we going to accept that bid?
Yes, we did.
For the payment plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we voted on that.
Okay.
We're going to accept it, yes.
I already forgot.
Okay. So are we ready to move on to the next item? So next item on the agenda is the website. Again, this was Michelle, I believe, had some sort of idea to have this put on the agenda.
Yeah, I was a big pusher for that. I think that it is very dangerous, in fact, for the official not to have an official website, which gives the official word of what the association is saying and standing for. And also, it allows for other people to send out messages which can be confused as the official website. So I think we should definitely explore setting up a website. If for any reason it is not possible to create or set up a website, maybe because of cost, then I think we should give serious thought to at least putting out a monthly newsletter so that the members know what the official word is, what the board stands for, what it actually voted on, and not depend on volunteers putting out the word who might have an agenda. And that's my opinion on that.
My comment would be, I totally agree with him. I think it's a great idea. I'd like somebody to pursue it.
I'm for the idea as well. I know we've had some confusion in the past regarding the website, whether it's official or not. And if we could figure out all the details on how to do something like that ourselves, I think it would also be a good idea.
So it is something that that Century would offer to have an official website. I can definitely get pricing for you guys. Obviously, I would imagine you guys want to get pricing from other places also, just to make sure that it's the best. But I can get the pricing from there if someone else would like to get pricing for someone else to do it.
I can check also. I have some contacts in the field. I'll see what
Okay.
they come up with. Okay.
So let's get pricing, and then we can, see if it's something that the board wants to pursue.
Tiffany, do you have other HOAs that do this?
I have one other one. They're much, much larger than you guys. There's about 400 homes in it. But yeah, that's the only other one that I have that does that. They're mandatory for condos over 150 units. So a lot of condos have them, but not a lot of HOAs do.
Tiffany, with a website that Jim says we could put information out there or whatever, what are the rules on notifications of things if we do the website, so it would reduce our mailings? Is that a possibility?
And the state statute just came out with something new, but the lines are so gray there because there's so many people who still don't have access to electronic means or don't like to have that option. So I would definitely have to get back to you on that to see if that's something we can do.
I mean, if the cost of some of the posters can be waived and put towards a web page, but for us to continue with postage and web page, I mean, we got to come up somehow to fund it.
Right. I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's going to do away with postage completely.
No, some of it.
But we might be able to cut down in some ways. I don't know what is there yet.
There's still a lot of people in our community that do not use computers.
Right. And legally, we're obligated to make sure they get a notice, whether by mail, email, hand deliver it, something.
What I was going to ask is that if we were to do something like this, like when we send out the booklets and different things in January, if we could even have like a little return slip or something that says, if you have an email, would you share it with us, like when they return their payments or whatever, something to sign up and ask them to share the emails. Because I know that in the past years when we've collected proxies, I have collected a lot of emails by hand, and where they ever went, I don't know, but I know we don't have a lot of them on file, so I'm not sure where that information has gone over time.
We may actually have them on file, but unless they go online and opt in to receiving electronic communications, we're not allowed to contact them that way.
Okay, well, could we ask them though to share their email and ask, give them the procedure of how that is to receive it that way, and that it might spark people's interest that way if they have you know, the access to that they'll, and we'll invite them to participate in it.
Can we collect proxies by that too? So then we wouldn't be knocking on their door. They'd get a little relief from that.
We can collect proxies by email now. They just have to email them, you know, fill them out and email them in. Again, it's a gray area with if we can do it completely electronically, though. That's something that I would definitely want to speak with an attorney about and see what our options are there.
It seems like I remember having discussion before about ARBs having a line on there, please submit your email address for approvals and stuff where you could just send them that on email.
Right.
I was looking, I'm not sure if I got some old ones here and I think a new one and I don't see it on a new one. Did we ever?
It's not on the new one.
Because we talked about that so that people wouldn't be calling you saying, where's my approval, that you could go ahead and get it to them.
There's a spot to put your email address on the application.
I don't see it. It wasn't on mine.
Is there not? Maybe
I
it's a
don't-
different association I'm thinking of.
No.
We
we
could
could-
definitely add a line for an email address.
Yeah, we could require that and then we're getting some feedback on their email addresses.
Yeah.
Because I know in the
Um,
past, people have collected email addresses and they certainly will not share those with us.
Right.
Well,
And
the
then the
issue
only
is
other
what
thing
Tiffany's
is-
saying, I think, is once you get that email, like from the ARB, you can't use that to notify them or do anything like that. They have to give you permission for that, even though they want the information from the ARB. Correct, Tiffany?
So I could send them like their ARB approval, but I couldn't send them like notices or violations or newsletters or anything like that electronically without their permission.
Yeah.
And I also know that aside from rules that you're going by, Tiffany, that there's apps you can buy or whatever they call them where you can get every email on earth. Because people send crap all the time, spam
Right.
and everything else. So I know there's ways to get emails from people and say you're a private homeowner. Can you use that and send out stuff? I know your corporation can't do it, but there's ways to get emails. I don't know what the cost of something like that would be. But
Right. Another thing is, since you guys vote by secret ballot, we couldn't do the voting, electronically. I mean, there's ways to do it. There's no real good websites yet for it, and it's the websites they do have to do electronic voting is costly, very costly. I've looked into it for some other associations. So that would be another thing that we still have to send is the ballots.
well, since you mentioned that, are we required to have secret ballot?
I believe your documents do, the new documents that you guys did a few years ago laid out that it is voting by secret ballot.
Because that adds a lot of cost to our postage and printing.
It really does. It really does. Okay, so let's look into that. We'll get some prices and then we can readdress that at the next meeting. The next item on the agenda is the fining committee. Since we have 2 members of the fining committee now on the board, we need to start looking for new members and appoint some new fining committee members. So if anyone has anybody in mind, we need to reach out to them and see if they're interested. Just keep in mind they cannot be related to you or live in the same house as you.
Would my wife be considered related?
Yeah, and she lives with you.
She doesn't consider me related.
So let's just, and then we can bring that back if at the next meeting, if anyone, if we can come up with some names who would be interested.
Okay.
Tiffany, my question would be that if we can't get a fining committee together, what do we do? I know that it goes over the attorney, but what is that process again?
So if we don't have a fining committee, then, after the 3rd violation, when they would normally go to the fining committee, we would send them to the attorney and the attorney would send them a demand letter and give them a certain amount of time to cure. And if it's not cured, then it would go to litigation.
But then that would also, we would get fees for that, to do it that way, correct?
Correct, because state statutes does not allow us to bill the homeowner for covenant violation legal fees until it goes to litigation.
Okay.
How many people are we gonna need for the fining committee?
We need at least 2.
Well, I did ask Miss Davis when I saw her if she was going to continue to go on with the fining committee, and she was unsure. So I would say if we could find
Okay.
3, I would
Okay.
do it as a backup. I'd rather have
Okay.
more than not enough.
Right. Okay. So we need 3 members.
Well, I have somebody in mind. I think he's willing to do it. I will double check this week and find out.
Okay. Okay. So let's just keep that in mind, and then we'll put on the agenda. And if the whoever's interested can, be present at the next meeting, so the board can formally appoint them. That would be good.
That
And-
would only
and-
be one person, so.
And then the next item on the agenda is future meeting dates.
Yes, I put this on there because this last year, I know that there was a couple of dates that were conflicting, especially like the 4th of July, and I believe it's Labor Day, by our meetings being scheduled for the first Monday of the month. We ended up having to move them. So if I calculated it correctly, July and September's would be a conflict. And I did check with Tiffany previous to this just to kind of do some homework. And she said that the first Tuesday of the month, she was available. So for those particular months, I'd say we would schedule the meeting going forward for that Tuesday instead of Monday. That way we wouldn't have to be moving the dates throughout the year.
So you want to keep it on
for July and September.
So you want to keep it on the first Monday, unless a holiday, it falls on a holiday, then we'll move it to the Tuesday.
That's what I was
you're saying?
thinking, if
Okay.
everyone's okay with it, yes, because then the future dates are set and we wouldn't have to be trying to coordinate when everyone was available.
Right. Does that work for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there might be one date or something which doesn't work, but we'll just be minus 1 member. So, I mean, I wouldn't,
Right.
I think it's just as a structure, I think it works. Yes.
So we're only looking at 2 months that we're changing the date anyways, July and September,
Yeah, that's fine.
right?
I believe so, yes.
And, you can keep in mind that if you're traveling or somewhere for the holiday, you can always take your computer with you, or you can call in on the phone. So,
That's true.
That's correct.
Right, but
That
for
works.
those, I knew they were ahead, and like I said, if I remember correctly, those would have been the only 2 conflicting dates. We can, everyone can look at that again, but I'm pretty sure those were the only 2 that we would have a problem with.
Yeah, so 4th of July and Labor Day, and then Halloween's on a Monday. So it would be July, September, and October.
Okay, but I guess we would acknowledge Halloween if we wanted to participate in passing out to the kids and stuff. So I'm okay with that as long as everyone else agrees to that. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yep.
It's fine
can
with
somebody
me.
put something out in a text so I can put it in my planner, because I can't remember.
I'll send out a new invite. Well, I mean, it's still going to stay the same just for those months. So we don't have to really worry about anything until next July. So,
Okay.
but
Can I bring up a subject? I've been, this week, I think we got a new family in. And I've seen these kids playing on the new drain pipe we have put in, and I've seen them in the pond, in the lake.
Oh my
What
God.
are our my dog got in there once and got sicker than sick. I can't imagine these kids not getting sick, but what is the rule with that? I think on the other side of the lake it says private property, no swimming, but we don't have any signs posted on our play area that I have seen.
yeah, they
Is there-
definitely shouldn't be swimming in it. If we don't have a sign on this side, There's no sign on that side of the pond at all.
I have not seen a sign. There's 3 signs on the other side facing the townhomes. And I believe they say private property, no swimming, but I don't see anything on our sign. And I was just, I mean, I kept watching them because I was afraid someone was going to get, you know, have a
Right.
problem swimming in there.
I thought that at one time we had more signs, but maybe over time they've worn or something and they've just deteriorated and they were taken down. But I always thought that the rule of thumb was anyway that children under a certain age had to be supervised by an adult there, that they couldn't just run free.
Yeah.
I thought we had signs that said no swimming on both sides.
I've never seen
Well, and
it.
I believe that I know that one time even someone asked to go kayaking in there. There was an older gentleman that was sick and he wanted to do it just for recreation, and we allowed it, but they even asked permission to take anything into the lake itself.
I remember that.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I think
Well,
we definitely plan on putting signage up. I think that's a minimal cost thing that would probably go a long way with liability if something were to happen.
And I think we should put absolutely no swimming.
And absolutely no unsupervised children.
Yes, under the age, I would say 12 or 13 years old. I don't think they
Right.
have any business being over there being unattended. I know I wouldn't allow my children to be.
Yeah. Well, it was just there. I think at the corner of Country Walk and Country Manor, that white house, there's a new family in there, and I believe it was the girls from that house. And I was just like, I was flabbergasted that people were swimming in there. And I'm like, I mean, they didn't go far into it, but they were in it. And I'm thinking they were going to get sick because I know we treat it. And then all those turtles in there is, you know, gross.
Well, and God forbid that, you know, a alligator should be in there and we
Yeah.
don't know it, that somebody really get hurt. So yes, they don't have any business being in there. And amoebas during hot seasons and things like that, there could be a lot of dangers there.
Yeah.
Well, there may well be an alligator in there.
Okay,
Lord.
so why don't I get some prices on signs, and then we can take a vote at the December meeting to spend the money for new signs
Yeah.
and
that-
get them ordered.
And I don't know where, I mean, how far around you put them, just over by the playground? I mean, most people that live along the lake here, we don't get in the lake. But it just the playground, maybe, I mean, do we need just the playground area?
I would say at least one over on that area, like the entrance to the park, that you would consider the actual entrance. That way the rules are right there in your face.
I would like to say that a couple of years ago, Ariel found some signage that I think, I'm not positive about this, but I believe he found it online and reasonable cost. And he and I put them out down at the park at Madeline. And you may find that looking online, you get more reasonable. And I'm all for all these warnings, but I'm not for, you know, no children or, you know, I think we should just have no trespassing and no swimming put up there. And you can kind of buy those signs already pre-made is what I'm saying. And then, you know, you also got the poles, and what kind of poles, whether it's going to be the treated poles or you're going to use the metal poles. And of course,
What are the ones-
volunteers maybe could put them up, but if not, then you're looking at installation too. So you can get really expensive if you're not careful and keep the cost down.
Well, I do believe that there's a generic sign, because like all pools have it too, that, you know, children must be accompanied by an adult under the age of such and such. I think we need to put that rule out there, because hopefully no parent would let a 7-year-old over there by themselves, but I think it would be protecting us that we're telling you flat out, no children are permitted to play over here without an adult.
Well, if you remember,
That's important.
I believe it was last year when a child, it might have been the year before, when a child was killed at Disney from an alligator.
Right.
Yes.
And Disney didn't have the signs at their resort. And boy, we don't know what they paid, but you know they paid dearly. So just a matter of having a sign up would give you some sense of relief. I guess probably you're not going to be relieved of liability no matter what you do, but it would aid us in doing it.
Well,
and there are more children moving into the neighborhood.
And
So-
it's a very different world. Parents do not keep an eye on their children as well as probably all of us did. So I think we need to put the rules out there, period. It's our rule.
Well, do you think we should go to this house and tell these people to keep their children out of the lake?
I can't say it was actually them. I just seen two girls in front of their house, and it was two girls out here playing, and I've never seen them before. So I can't say it was them. I don't know. I've seen other people come out here fishing that don't live in our neighborhood. I've seen other people, I've seen lawn mowing services pull up and just drop in and walk in there. There's been a lot of people walking around the lake that don't live here. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not them. Maybe they're from someplace else, but they were coming down Fox Hunt Court in there.
Yeah, well,
I'd hate to see a child drown.
well, that's the thing. The sign should be worded to tell parents or whatever, but forget if you're looking to get out of it from liability point of view. I don't care if you got neon lights and you have, you're setting off fireworks. If a child drowns, they're going to be held liable. Children are non-jurors, and there's nothing you can do about it. And all we can do is just point to the signs. And if we see kids down there and we know where they live, is tell their parents, say, this is a dangerous situation.
Right. Oh, I just hate to see a little one drown.
We all would. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So can we do something like authorize the money now and just do it? I mean, do we have to wait another 30, 60 days?
I think we should do it. It's a danger.
I agree.
I think you have to get a price and have it approved by the board. I don't know, Tiffany.
Well, the president has the authority, doesn't she, to spend up to a certain amount?
She could spend up to $300 and the treasurer can spend up to $200, but that's kind of like in an emergency, which this could qualify.
Well, if somebody drowns, it'll be an emergency.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking, my God, how come nobody's ever thought of this before?
We could make a motion to spend like up to a certain amount on signs for the pond, if that's something you guys want to do, or if you'd rather wait until next month and get some pricing.
Well, I don't have a problem giving permission. I just think we should check the prices of the signage and not jump on the first one we hit. Let's get an idea of what the signs are going to cost and get a bang for our buck, is all I'm saying.
Right.
But I'm all for putting the signs up.
Hopefully the weather is getting a little cooler. They're not going to be swimming maybe as much. So maybe we can wait until December. If I see them out there, I will definitely say now that I know, that they can't be there, and I'll ask them where they live.
Okay.
I definitely think we need to put signs up. I'm not saying we should.
No, I'm just saying if I wait, we wait until next month, but then it's going to be until January by the time we vote on them.
If you go and have signs made, you're going to pay a fortune. If you buy pre-made signs, it'll be more. And maybe you should put no swimming, no trespassing. I don't know, in pond.
Right. I have a site that I order signs from online, and they're fairly cheap. So it will probably be less than $200 for 3 or 4 signs, however many signs you want. But
would that include a post too?
I believe it does come with the post.
Okay.
Well,
I'll have to
I'm looking
look
at
to
some
make
online,
sure.
and they're like $25. I'm seeing
Yeah.
safety signs. It's $25 for no swimming.
Yeah.
No swimming, no lifeguard on duty. Just no swimming. Danger, no swimming allowed. I think that would be good. Danger, because
Alligators.
yeah, well, it doesn't say that, but just no swimming. No swimming allowed. No wading. How about no wading, no swimming? Because sometimes they're only up to their knees in there. I've seen kids when the water's been low wading into their knees. So you could say no wading, no swimming, and no feeding the alligators.
that would keep them out. Why don't we, let me just make a suggestion. We have officers, and that's the reason we elect officers for decision making and for handling certain, I hate to call it minutia, but it is, you're getting into the nitty micromanaging. Why don't we just, as a board, vote an amount and leave it up to the officers to what the wording should be and where to post them? because I think this is a management decision, not a committee decision. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, so if Rocky and Barb, you agree, we can get together and do that then?
Yes.
I would agree.
I
How
would
Is
about,
that
agree.
how
okay,
about the
Tiffany,
amount?
for the, Tiffany, that's
$500?
okay? Yeah, but Tiffany, is that okay for the three of us to meet?
No, it can't be a quorum of the board. But I would say you guys can discuss it over email, though. Discussions are allowed over email. But I would say let's make a motion to spend. I would say up to $200. Do you think that's reasonable, or do you want me to think more?
I wouldn't want to hamstring the person like that. I would make a motion they can spend up to, let's say, 500. That doesn't mean they should spend it, but you know.
I agree,
Okay.
because you need that at least every 75 or 100 feet. That's a large area to go all the way around there.
Okay. So, Jen, you made a motion to spend up to $500 on signs.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And you said we cannot meet, three people cannot meet, but can we form a committee, a special committee and meet?
Only if you're outside of the board, only if you're not a board member.
Okay, okay.
But like I said, you guys can discuss this over email. There's nothing prohibiting that.
I agree with
Are we
Linda. I
ready
just think
for-
60 to 90 days is just much too long with this. And if God forbid something were to happen, we'd all have to live with it. And I don't
Right.
want to do that.
There's too many children in the neighborhood now.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So the next thing would be just the homeowner comments. Do we have any owners that would like to speak at this time?
I just have one more question. This ARBs, these two original ARBs, I need to get them to Barbara
Uh-huh.
for her to get approvals from all the board members on it? Or the
Yes.
three?
Yep.
Okay, I'll get these to you, Barbara, for you to.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm finished.
If there are no comments, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Can I make one comment for Barbara? The other two that he doesn't have the originals of, you would need to print them out and circulate them as well with the others for 3 signatures.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can, contact whoever's free, whoever you want to ahead of time or whatever for signing, and then they'll just sign them and hand them back to you, and then you scan them in and send them to Tiffany.
I can't sign mine, correct, Tiffany?
Right.
Yeah, you cannot sign your own.
Okay.
So we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Okay.
A second.
Meeting's adjourned at 6:58.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.